Okay, in a world that is just constantly screaming for our attention, how do you find an anchor for your day? Well, today we're going to explore a really time-tested ritual for finding that exact kind of structure and meaning. And the best part? It's a practice you can make totally your own.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about why a ritual even matters in our crazy modern lives. Then we'll look at 4 different ways you can approach it. We'll break down what a typical practice looks like, get into the keys to actually sticking with it, and finally, figure out how you can find your own personal rhythm.
All right, let's dive right in. First up, why should we even bother with a daily practice? This is all about connecting an ancient idea to our very modern, very real need for focus.
I mean, this question hits home, right? Our days can feel like a total whirlwind of emails, notifications, and to-do lists. Carving out even a tiny moment of quiet doesn't just sound nice, it feels absolutely essential. And that chaos is the exact problem a daily practice is built to solve.
Now, the specific practice we're looking at today is called Kaesong, or daily liturgy. But hey, don't let that word liturgy scare you off. Think of it less like some strict, formal obligation and more like your own personal toolkit for building discipline, creating a little space for reflection, and just setting the tone for your morning and evening.
So how do you actually do this? Well, here's the beautiful part. The whole system is designed to be flexible. It gets that everybody's life is different, so this is definitely not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal.
You know, a great way to think about this is like a spiritual fitness routine. Seriously, you wouldn't expect a beginner at the gym to start lifting the same as a seasoned pro, would you? Of course not. The exact same idea applies here. You get to choose the level of intensity that actually fits where you are right now.
And here are those levels. You can go all in with the comprehensive path, find a nice middle ground with the standard, keep it short and sweet with the express version if you're crunched for time, or really laser in with the focused path. The main thing to remember? You've got options.
Now, to really understand the logic behind this whole ritual, we're going to deconstruct the most common approach, the standard method. This comes from the influential Master Yin Guang, and breaking it down will really show us how all the different pieces fit together so perfectly.
So, check out this flow. The practice moves through 5 clear stages. It kicks off with scripture, then shifts to a shorter mantra, and then you get to the core of it, the repetitive chanting. After that, you honor some key figures, and it all wraps up with a dedication, which is basically about setting an intention for why you're even doing this. It's this complete little journey from study to action to intention.
Okay, let's zoom in on that central step, the chanting. How much are we talking about here? Well, the guidelines are incredibly open. It could be hundreds of times, thousands, or yeah, even tens of thousands. This is not about meeting some strict, scary quota.
And this quote really gets to the core philosophy of the whole practice. The original text literally says the number of chants just depends on your own leisure or busyness. It's not about hitting an arbitrary target. It's about finding what's actually sustainable for your life in this moment.
So knowing the steps is one thing, but making it a real, lasting habit, that's the tricky part, right? And it all comes down to the guiding philosophy, which is completely designed to set you up for success. This is the absolute golden rule, from less to more. It's such a simple idea, but it's incredibly powerful. The goal is not to start with some huge, impressive commitment. No, the goal is to start with something so ridiculously manageable that you just can't say no to it.
You can see that principle right here. Maybe in month 1, you just do 5 minutes a day, that's it. Once that feels like second nature, maybe you bump it to 10. The rule is simple. You only ever increase your commitment, you never decrease it. And starting small is what makes that totally possible.
This is so crucial. We're playing the long game here. The real aim is daily persistence, not some spectacular, perfect performance that you can only keep up for a week. We've all been there. You set the bar way too high, miss a day, feel discouraged, and then just quit altogether. This system is designed to prevent that exact spiral.
Now, for the practice to be really effective, there are these 3 core conditions. No doubt means you got to trust the process. No mixing is about keeping your focus sharp. Don't try to cram a bunch of other practices in at the same time. And no interruption. Well, that's the key we keep coming back to, the simple, undeniable power of daily consistency.
Okay, so let's bring this all home. We've talked about the why, the what, and the how. The final and honestly the most important piece of the puzzle is understanding that this is a framework, not a cage.
So if you walk away with anything, let it be this. Choose a method that actually fits your real life schedule. Remember that consistency is always,
always more important than intensity. Start small and build up from there. Give the ritual meaning with your intention. And remember that flexibility isn't a flaw in the system, it's the main feature.
Because at the end of the day, it all comes down to this. Whether it's this specific practice or something else entirely, the principles are the same. The goal is to build something that's sustainable, something that's deeply personal, and something that serves as a true anchor, bringing real focus and clarity into your life.
And so that leaves us with one last question to think about. It doesn't have to be chanting. It could be 5 minutes of journaling, a short walk without your phone, or just brewing your morning coffee with total intention. What is one small, consistent ritual that you could build that might just change your day?